All right, now, my brothers and sisters, I'm going to close this week's recording of the message of Genesis 1. But as I do that, I'm going to point you towards the direction that we're going to take, using Genesis as the springboard for very important messages, important arguments, which have relation to science, have relation to other religions, especially Islam, and energy and water, since this is the walk for water, Cape to Cairo for water. Now we're dealing with it from that point of view. The living waters is what we're dealing with. In the case of Islam, what I'm going to try to show you is the importance of Islam to Christianity. You see, the importance, because once you put things in their order, you begin to understand their relevance. You see, there is no conflict. It's like a machine in an engine. If you put the piston where the crankshaft is, there's going to be conflict. If you put the spark plug where the ignition key is, there's going to be a conflict. Everything has its place. Likewise with the faiths that have been revealed by the Most High, all wise, all loving God. And this is what I'm so happy about, that we actually are going to be able to put people together, make people understand that they're all valid, especially exactly where they are, and that they all have a purpose. Otherwise, they would not be here. God, everything that God has made has its purpose. There is no chaos with God. And like Albert Einstein says, God does not play dice. Nothing is left to hazard with God. Everything is planned. So don't you worry about what you are, whether you're Muslim or Christian, whatever. Don't think that at any moment you're in conflict with each other. You are not. You are not in conflict. Don't let anybody else from outside make you believe that you are in conflict with each other. Okay? And don't be in conflict with yourself either. Be at peace. Peace be upon you. Right? Salam alaikum. All right? Peace be upon you all. As for science, where we have to go now, we have to move into the part of where I want to show you how we, as human beings, as flesh, as creation on earth, number one, that we are water-based computers, basically. We are water-based electronic machines. You know, that's what we are. That our current goes through water rather than through wires. And if you look at a circuit, the electronic circuit, which is just on wires, it is pretty excluded, because the electric currents are limited to the wire and the wire circuit. But if you have water as a conductor for electricity, it is pretty universal. So if you think of the electricity that is conducted through all the bodily fluids, your blood, the water, saliva, sperm, all those things, plasma, everything. Plasma and blood is the same thing, well, sort of. All the electricity that goes on through there, through the components and the properties and the compositions that are within, which would work as transistors do in a circuit, as resistors do in a circuit, as capacitors do and diodes do in circuits. Likewise, the different minerals that we eat, the food and whatever, all those have ways of transforming electricity, transporting electricity, damming the electricity, storing electricity in your body. And then if it's all water based, what you realize is that actually at the end of the day, we, the flesh, are water based electronic computers, water based electronics. That's what we are. And coming from the earth, that we were creatures that come from the earth, but also came from the water. And the other thing that I wanted to do about energy with science was going back to the first fruits. Remember the first fruits. Why does God talk about bringing first fruits? That's why there's a whole thing about the first fruits. The first fruits that were created before the sun came into being. The first fruits. That type of energy is actually reflected in the fruits. There's a lot of how can we say? There's a lot of research going on at the moment. I'm just so excited, I forget the words. A lot of research going on at the moment, which looks at the flow of energy, which gives some idea of how energy is put together, and that all the fruits of the world actually mimic that shape of energy, which goes like so. If you look at an apple, it goes that way. If you look at a pear goes away, that circular type of like from the core out and then circular down. And that's also like the heart, like how we do it like this within Rastafari with the heart. It's the same shape. You see, if you look carefully, that shape is like the shape of a strawberry, a pear, an apple, it all goes like this. Also the heart that we have. So the two sevens that we talk about them. So that whole idea of how energy flows like that is what is talked about with the first fruits, the first energy. Now, why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because we need to get away from fossil fuels. You see, now all the scientists who are doing any research that has to do with fossil fuels right now, you know, this is where the answer is in the water-based electronics and in the energy of the first fruits in the Bible. You see, and we know we're very close to a breakthrough. Now, I'll pray for you, and I ask you all to pray for me, all right? Because I'm not revealing anything new, but I'm able to put this to the people, you see? And of course, that is always dangerous, you know, as Jesus would tell you. That is definitely dangerous. But I'd like to say that this is exactly what I would live and die for, to give you this joy and to give you this message. So I'm happy that we finally got it recorded and that the Lord has opened the wisdom and made it possible for me to talk to you, my Muslim brothers, my Christian brothers, my Hindu brothers, my Buddhist brothers and brethren and sisters, my Hare Krishnas, my blacks, my whites, my coloreds, all the people out there, 7 billion strong. What can I say to you? One love, Rastafari. Cape Town to Cairo for water. All right? See you on the road. One love.